Right guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, so today's big excitement for me. This is more of I'm gonna do a 5-minute video tip straight on the back of this video, but I just wanted to introduce my new digs. It looks pretty horrible here in the UK. You've got grey clouds and we've got sanded soil. That means the range is actually, yes, it is. My new digs has got appropriate grass to hit off, obviously when we're not doing maintenance. But when we are in maintenance season here, this is where I'm super excited. If you can't tell already, I'm sort of pumped this morning. This is Merry Christmas. Take a walk with me. We have got the guys at Southwest Greens to put in a little mat, but it's not actually that little. So if we just keep going, come on, you've got to keep going. Right, we have got an appropriate mat to practice off. The guys have done a wonderful job. Let's just count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 meters of practice area here at Clandon Regis. We are super excited to say that this is for coaching areas. This is for your member. Essentially, the guys at Southwest Greens have done me a huge favor. Shout out to Warren and his team, done a wicked job. There's more to come on that, by the way. We've got a lot more pieces to go on. Southwest Greens, I'll pop their link in the bio, but they are, I promise you, they are the best mats in the business. We've got a nice little walk-up area, great facility. We've got now premium balls here ready to use. So from a lesson perspective, we are set. Obviously there's some indoor space going on as well. You will see that over the next few weeks. But for now, let's jump into a video. First tip on the brand new mat. Less than 5 minutes, probably gonna make you a better golfer. Right, enjoy. Hit the music while I set up. Right, this tip is going to really help you play better golf. Now, in simple terms, we know, if you're watching this video, you know this game is relatively difficult. However, this drill, I swear, I still use almost on a daily basis. I would say I use this drill at least once a day for any student that is either, right, check these off, either a little bit overpopulated in too many thoughts, like they're just buckled because they got too many thoughts, buckled. They have the inability to control low points, so that is your ability to strike the golf ball on the descending arc of the golf swing. So that's angle of attack. So you're buckled or your angle of attack, and or you want to get a little bit more speed. Now there's 3 reasons to give this drill a go. Even if you don't want to use the drill, give it a go and I guarantee you might learn, well, you will learn something. So in simple terms, what you're going to need here is you're going to need 3 balls. Now I'm going to grab 3 balls and I'm going to pop the first 2 just either side of my, let's say, width or general width of stance at my address position. Okay, simple ideas. So we've got an idea of where my general width of stance is represented here by the 2 balls closest to my outset of my toes. Okay, now what that's going to do is that's going to provide us with a framework of your original stance width. Now here's the drill. Here's the simplest drill that I can help provide you guys move a little bit better. And I did mean that, just move a little bit better. Now what we need to do is I want you to take your normal stance width, take your normal grip, and then I actually want you to just shorten up your, let's say, stance style. Now we've got a representation here of your original width of stance, just on the outside of the toes. I'm just going to narrow it up a touch. Now to get you moving better, guess what? We are actually going to work on moving better. Yeah? We're actually just going to work better in terms of just moving better. Now going back to that very simple setup, slightly narrower stance than our original setup, we know in a backswing there has to be some degree of, let's call it, for the simplest of terms relative to YouTube, there's got to be a little bit of bias and moving mass and weight pressures to the right side. Now think about it logically. If I was going to throw Chinooki this iron down the range because I got angry, the first thing I'd want to do here is get some pressure to my right, I'd extend the golf club away from my target, I'd replant to my left foot and I would literally launch that. Now in that simple terms, there is some movement in dynamics. I'm not just going to stack myself left, and I'm not going to stay to my right and throw it from here. I'm actually going to be moving, don't get seasick, in terms of my ability to create some force and definitely some ball speed. Now, strike might take a little bit of time here, but I guarantee you within a few shots you're going to get better anyway. Simple ideas, feet relatively close together. I then want you to start your golf swing, start the engine by a little toe tap or a little recentering, a little shift back to your original stance width. Now, once you've done that, I'm then going to get you to take the golf club back up to the top of the backswing position. No matter where your top of the backswing position is, here's the key. Here's the big piece. I want you to then replant your left foot back towards its original orientation. So we're going to go right foot, club away, left foot back to its original orientation. Now as you step, I actually want you to start to feel some pressure in the ground. I actually want you to start to feel like you're actually applying a little bit of downward force to the ground. Now, how you do this is going to be massive. How you apply that shift back towards the target is going to dramatically affect the way in which this club is going to pitch, what you can produce on the way down, and essentially how much ball speed you're going to get off that face. So let me explain some simple ideas. So if we've got a little step to the right, now we're not going to try and move our entire mass outside of the balls. So we're not going to try and move the upper center outside of, let's say, the yellow ball to my right. We're just going to move the lower body and re-center ourselves over our right foot. Then as the golf club goes away, we're going to re-center ourselves back over our lead foot. Now how you move in transition, if you are somebody that typically moves too much upper body first, maybe you start to extend the spine too much towards the target and then rotate. Well, that's going to do, in very simple terms, watch the shaft as I do that. You can start to see the shaft over pitch itself. Definitely going to present a scenario now where we're going to increase certainly the angle attack. The club path's going to work a little more to the left, those sorts of ideas. You might see some pulls. If you're pretty educated on the club face, you're going to see some pull cuts. It's going to feel pretty wipey. Now, what you really are looking to do, what you typically see the better players do, is as they replant that lead foot, while they're not actually picking the lead foot up, they're actually moving it with pelvis-led system. So the pelvis is sort of leading the system. It's sort of moving outside the lead shoulder. So as we move back towards the target, the pelvis steps towards the target. That creates a little bit of separation. What that does, in simple terms, as you start to lower into that lead side, that keeps the golf club and pitch the shaft a little bit more behind you. So simply put, all you need to do here is pick up your lead foot and move it closer towards the target, slightly pelvic led or pelvis led as you do that system. Try and keep the upper body relatively quiet. All of a sudden now, because you are lowering and lowering in the correct system, the shaft will typically follow your movement. If I create a scenario where I go upper body led, can you see how the shaft pitch would change? Now, I'm trying to create a simple environment here which provides a boatload of great dynamics. There is lower body versus upper body separation. There is pressure training. There is less shaft manipulation, promoting you, the player, the ability to allow the golf club to shallow rather than stack that shaft too vertically in the downswing. The more that you can create these feels in your game, the more dynamic you will become, and definitely the better ball striking you're going to have. Not only that, you're going to have less thoughts. You can even use your feet then as an idea of sequence. You can use it as tempo, pressure. So I've got a little step to my right from a slightly narrower stance, a little step to my right, then I'm going to take away the golf club as energy suggests. As I reach the top of the backswing position, I'm then going to plant back into my lead foot. As I plant back into my lead foot, I'm going to do it pelvic led. I'm going to start to apply a little bit of pressure in the ground. Then from there, I'm just going to push up and turn. Do this slowly to start with to get the orientations and tempo in your game. It's going to feel very, very differently. A lot of you people definitely want to hit it a bit too hard with the upper body. Allow the body, the lower body, to lead the sequence. A lot of little steps. That's going to provide you with all the information you need to hit more compressive shots. Now, I promise you, this is the world's simplest drill, but it takes a bit of getting used to. It's a bit like patting your head, rubbing your tummy, those sorts of ideas. But I promise you, when you start to get this drill, you're going to really love it. Let me hit a few for So I'm really feeling it. Right foot first, then club, and then I'm going to replant. I've got to replant just before I get to the top. That's going to signal my downswing. That's going to signal everything to follow that. I'm going to get my left foot to go first, then my left knee, then my left hip. I'm pressing down. Then I can just use the ground to just raise myself up through impact. Very simple drill. And that's sort of step one. I'll do step two, step three coming up over the next few weeks. But that's going to breed some information to you, the player, that potentially you've never had before. Simple, simple drill. Now, obviously moving your feet's difficult on the golf course. Variable lies, that's going to be a bit of an issue. So once you've done that a few times, just then recreate your width of stance that you typically had before, and then just start to create a very simple or very subtle amount of, let's say, tapping of your feet, shifting of your feet, or if you feel a little uncomfortable with that, just toe tap. Understand when that pressure shifts. All of a sudden now you're going to create a scenario where you create the same pattern, but it's much more based upon your individual timing and awareness of when things move in space. Now, give that drill a go, because that is a happy, happy Christmas. From the boys here down at Clarendon and PTL Golf, welcome to the new practice area. A boatload of videos coming your way. Happy Christmas.